Hey everyone, I'm Princess Link, and welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 2. Chapter 20. Pliskin Snake called on the codec.
Raiden, you alright?
Yeah, how about you guys?
Barely managed, but we're alright.
The chopper?
We need some time for repairs.
Oh, Raiden sighed with disappointment.
The president's all yours.
Okay, Raiden hesitated for a second. Can I ask you something?
What?
Are you the Snake? The man in the chopper merely grunted, not knowing how he should answer. For Raiden, that was plenty of confirmation. They said you were dead.
No, not me.
Snake answered.
There's still too many things I need to do.
Snake, you're a legend, and that's why I need to ask you this.
Legend? A legend's nothing but fiction. Someone tells it, someone else remembers, everybody passes it on.
What are you doing? I don't know. She's doing something. Raiden shook his head. I'm here because I was assigned to this mission, not because I want to. If I could, I'd be out of here in a second. Look, how could you come back to all this? Why keep fighting?
There's something my best friend said to me once. We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing I was good at, but at least I fought for what I believed in.
That was a good enough answer for Raiden. What about the DNA results from that body I had exhumed? Can you stop? What are you doing? Otacon interrupted, his face appearing on the monitor. That was Liquid's body. He and Snake are identical on the genetic level. A deception for our own protection. We stole his frozen body from some organization. Kind of a hassle, though, Snake added.
That's all there is to it.
Are you two really an NGO? Raiden asked. Otacon fielded that one. Insofar as we're a non-profit organization of civilians advocating a cause, yes. The cause just happens to be the eradication of Metal Gear.
We work on our own.
Snake said.
But it's a cause worth fighting for.
Why would you stick your neck out for something this risky?
That's the way I used to look at it 4 years ago. I was holed up in the middle of nowhere in Alaska drinking too much.
Otacon clarified. We have a responsibility to the coming generations, to the world. What responsibility? Raiden asked. To keep track of the mistakes we've made as a species.
We need to remember,
Snake said.
To spread the word to fight for change. And that's what keeps me alive.
You think you can change the future?
I'm not as arrogant as that.
Raiden was conflicted by the words he was hearing. What you do isn't grassroots activism. It's more like terrorism.
I admit that,
Snake said softly. Otacon came to his defense. But our group, Philanthropy, received some information. A new Metal Gear prototype was being developed here, and terrorists are planning to invade the facility. The information came from a very reliable source. So you're here to... We're here to stop all that, but I also have a personal motive, Otacon said. Snake explained.
Looks like the terrorists have a sister in the Big Shell. We're here on our own, not under anyone's orders. We have our own battles. Otacon's here for someone. I'm not.
This is a military mission, Raiden said, a little annoyed at Snake's cavalier attitude toward the whole thing. An incoming call from Rose was a welcome excuse to change the frequency. Jack, are you okay? Just barely. You almost gave me a heart attack. Those explosions. Sorry, wasn't intentional. Raiden waved at Snake as the Kasatka flew away toward the heliport. I know that. And I know I need to stay stronger, she said. Save her for me, Rose, so I can come back. You will make it back. I'm with you all the way, remember? That means a lot to me, you know. He switched frequencies to talk to his boss. Colonel, Metal Gear's already gone active.
It's not too late, the man said. You can still prevent a nuclear strike by securing the president and preventing password confirmation from taking place. Get to the president. He's in the closed section of Shell 2.
I'm checking the satellite images, Rose said. Looks like you can get to the core from Strut L.
The core hasn't gone under yet from what we can tell, the colonel explained. Follow the railings down, then jump onto the pipes.
Raiden looked out from the Strut D's failing. The DG bridge was in pieces, and still on fire in some places, but Raiden thought he could utilize a stepping stone method of crossing it safely. The large pipes the colonel was talking about ran underneath the GL connecting bridge, which had been demolished by the Harrier. Raiden figured they were exhaust pipes for the climate control within the Big Shell. The only viable strut in the outer perimeter is Strut L, Rose said. That attack just now doesn't make any sense. It's like they have no more use for this place. Colonel, Raiden said, You were monitoring the codec calls. That man was the real Snake all along.
Maybe.
The colonel answered. Maybe?
Don't let your guard down with him.
Why do you say that?
Because they were never part of the simulation. They're an unknown factor.
Raiden exploded. You can take your simulation and... We're out here. We bleed. We die. Rose urged him to calm down.
Even if that is Snake,
The colonel continued.
that has no bearing on your mission.
Colonel, you and Snake used to be on the same side. I don't understand. I read about you and Snake in the Darkness of Shadow Moses. I thought it was in the Darkness of Shadow Moses. It is. I'm pretty sure.
I don't give a damn what that piece of trash said. Do you get me?
The colonel signed off, leaving Raiden with the unenviable task of crossing 2 incomplete bridges to get to his next destination. Might as well get going. Raiden left the stinger on the roof and made his way out on the girder that he'd hung from earlier. The wind had become more forceful. Raiden chose to play it safe and crawled to the end on his hands and knees. From there, he had to make a short leap to the other half of the busted girder, which was still attached to what was left of the bridge. Luckily for Raiden, the girder had broken away from the unreachable bridge and jutted toward him. He just had to make a 5-foot leap over empty space without a net. He checked his belongings to make sure nothing was... I was going to make a joke about that, but... Nah. He checked his belongings to make sure nothing was carelessly dangling. Raiden concentrated on the end of the other girder and willed himself over. He then closed his eyes and saw in his mind an image of himself safely on top of it. Opening his eyes once again, he was ready. Raiden leaped like a toad and landed on the other girder with ease. That's such a weird... He leaped like a toad. Not like a frog or anything. A toad. Anyway. He crawled to where the piece of metal met with the unsteady bridge. The structure rocked when Raiden climbed over the rail and hopped onto it, so he ran quickly to Strut G's roof and skirted around the burning rubble that was once the stairwell entrance. Raiden avoided more debris and made it to what was left of the GL connecting bridge. Much of it had fallen into the ocean. Only the large exhaust pipes still held and connected the two struts. It began about 10 feet below the roof railing, so the challenge was climbing down, keeping one's balance, and not letting the strong breeze have any detrimental effect on movement. Seagull circled over his head as he swung his leg over the rail and prepared to descend a trellis of cables to the pipe. The friction gloves improved his grip for the shimmy down. He took it nice and slow, hand over hand, just like in the gym where he trained for real. Snake was right. VI training had nothing on the real stuff. What are you doing? Raiden reached the pipe, kept his body low, and grabbed the circumference for his support. Indeed, the wind had picked up. Raiden looked at the clouds. They were big and billowy and moving, but there didn't appear to be any chance of rain. Well, what color are they? He moved along the pipe towards Strut L. At one point, he came across a large, massive bird dropping. There's no way around it. He would simply have to crawl through it. Raiden winced as he did so, and quickly discovered that the stuff was extremely slippery. He slid to the right. He was falling, and would have gone completely over had he not clutched a rivet sticking out of the pipe. Raiden latched onto it with 3 fingers until he managed to pull himself to the top of the pipe. He continued his crawl through the droppings and onto dry metal once again. He took a moment to wipe the filth from his gloves and the pipes of the enemy's clothing that had come into contact with it. As he approached the bottom of Strut L, he heard 2 voices. 2 Russian sentries had come to the roof for a smoke. They walked over to the railing and leaned against it. Raiden quickly ducked directly beneath the edge of the roof, still on the pipe, but he had to get to a ladder that was attached to the railing further along the wall. The only way to do it without the soldiers seeing him was to go into hanging mode again. Raiden grasped the cables that ran along the outer wall of the strut and pulled himself up. The muscles in his arms ached from all the dangling he was doing, but he was nowhere near giving out. He trained and worked hard on developing the muscles in his body. His height would have to fail before his muscles would. What? That's just... okay. You know what? I'm not even going to question it. When he was within inches of the railing bottom, he had a sudden curiosity as to what the time was. Big mood. He glanced at the codex. The digital readout indicated that it was just around 2 o'clock. He'd only been at the big shell for a little over half a day. It seemed like forever. Vadin grasped the bottom rail and performed the hand-over-hand maneuver that he did so well. But as he was moving beneath the two soldiers, one of them decided to answer the call of nature. The man unzipped his pants and did his business over the side of the strut. The stream splashed down directly in front of Vadin, forcing him to halt his progress until the man finished. First bird poop and now this, he thought. There was tremendous strain on his fists and shoulders, and Vadin had to close his eyes and grit his teeth while he waited. Finally, the man zipped up and walked away. Vadin shook his head. No one would believe the things he had to do and witness as the foxhound operative, and then he moved on to the safety of the ladder. If you like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!